Hello, everyone. My name is Ivan Medina, and I'm a brother of Beta Gamma Nu here at Colorado State University, and this is our Zeta chapter.
How's it going, everybody? My name is Ricardo. We're here to present the virtual award panel criteria for Beta Gamma Nu.
So the first one we're going to be talking about is our harm reduction, and I really think that Beta Gamma Nu does a great job in risk management and risk reduction as a whole. One way that we offer safety within our brothers and also guests is we offer services like BG Driver, which is a service open to brothers where they can get a safe ride home for no charge on weekends like Friday and Saturday, which is usually times when brothers go out. I think it keeps them safe because it takes down even the possibility of drunk driving. And also it's safer to everyone. It's not just brothers. If you just want to also offer that service to guests, like we'd also take guests. And another way with BG drivers, we usually have sober monitors at events. So there'll be a couple brothers from the fraternity that usually the host of the event or anything else that really just kind of watch over the event that we're hosting and make sure that no one is over drinking, no one is thinking about driving home while under the influence and things of that nature. We also usually have a first aid kit at most of our events, just in case. You never know what's going to go on. And also, of course, we have, for new members, we have our anti-hazing initiative, which is obviously we respect and go under the guidelines that the CSU fraternity sorority gave for us. And then also with that anti-hazing initiative that FSL has given to us, we also have our drinking and drug policy that we also respect and have guidelines for, such as underage drinking is not acceptable, not drinking in our letters, no offering alcohol at events that aren't registered, and just things of that nature that we have policies in our chapter. But we don't all so there's multiple topics on risk management. We also have our Be Fit initiative, which is mentally, physically, spiritually, any way fit that we really, try to give to brothers. So if one of us is working out, we want to encourage brothers to also have that physical health and feel better. We've also had workshops with time management and professional development. We've had alumni come talk to us about how to make better use of our time, how to use calendars for school and even after school in the job force. We also are doing professional development. So we had a brother come in and talk to us about how we could update our LinkedIn profiles, how we could, before we even are looking for a job, talk to people in our field and try to get ideas of what companies we could work for. And of course, we have our risk management workshops also just primarily on big topics like alcohol, sexual assault, and mental health. We recently, this last semester, we had a mental health workshop from the CSU hospital. They really helped us. They gave a presentation on how mental health resources that could be given to us and mental health resources that are there on campus to be taken advantage of, such as counseling and talking through phone calls to people, and also how to identify mental health problems to hopefully give help to people. Not also that, we also did sexual assault workshop through the Gender Advocacy Center, one of the student offices on campus, talking about what is considered sexual assault, where are boundaries, how to prevent it, and how to step in if we do see it in particular social events. And I thought that was really helpful because it really made me more conscious of why we're doing this and how to step in those situations. And if there is ever a situation that a brother does, get into a particular situation where they break our rules, our policies, or CSU's policies, we do have a way to hold brothers accountable for that. So usually we have a judicial board made up of our president, risk management chair, and director of internal affairs. And we also have representatives from every class that has crossed, that is still here at CSU. And they have a meeting with the individuals or individual that committed the offense. We talk about it, give them time to explain their side, and we give them time to talk about it. And after that, we convene and we talk about punishments if there should be. And we also get a lot of advice from our National Alumni Advisory Board and our Regional Advisory Board that help us come to a decision and punishment that fits whatever infraction happened. And how we help members also have that knowledge of risk management policies at CSU through like FSL and other departments. So we have workshops that we hold with pledges that are coming into our fraternity to help them be educated on it and not be educated on what we're doing. So we had a workshop on toxic masculinity and how that looks like in Greek life, or alcohol abuse and how that looks like in being a fraternity, and how to stop it, and how we don't like approve of abusive alcohol in our fraternity. We also recently we went to the summit. I had the chance to go with one of my brothers, and we talked a lot about problems within MGC as a whole, such as drinking, sexual assault, party registrations, and stuff like that. And I had no idea. So that getting that information through a CSU opportunity and then being able to relay that to my brothers, we took active steps to do that with, we actually registered one of our parties to FSL, which we had never done before. And we were also taking advice on guest lists and other things to protect ourselves and protect our guests that go to our social events. Also, just the FSL Summit as a whole on being more inclusive and having plans set in place to take up any risk management problem there could be. And I think as a whole that we do really well to reduce any risk of anything happening in our fraternity. And I'll take it over to Richie for our nomination for chapter management.
Thanks, Ivan. So chapter management is the core of our fraternity. So it allows us to organize not only our events, but the structure that we want to see for future generations of Beta Gamma Nu. So 4 specific areas that I want to focus on for our chapter management. One is the active contract. The second one is going to be the weekly meetings. The third one is going to be the leadership retreats. And then the financial solvency is our fourth and last one. So starting off with the active contract, at the beginning of every year, school year in August, we actually give our active members the opportunity to choose to commit for a full year to Beta Gamma Nu. This contract is basically stating the guidelines and responsibilities that every active member needs to uphold. And we ask them for a time frame of a week to make that decision. So they have until the end of the first week of school to make the decision if they want to commit to Beta Gamma Nu for the full academic year. This includes, a good practice for accountability. One thing that we are trying to work on within our members is just holding our members accountable for the responsibilities that they agreed to. So this active contract allows us to do that and manage ourselves a little bit better every year. And then another important part of the active contract, it holds the members responsible to attend the events of Beta Gamma Nu, whether that be social events with other fraternities and sororities, or the actual, personal growth events that we have, personal growth workshops with our new members. And it's a very important first step for the academic year for BG. The second one, the weekly meetings. So every Monday at 7 p.m. we hold our meetings just to facilitate any information within the committees that we have. And it also gives us an opportunity just to have a well-structured meeting throughout the whole semester. This includes having specific brothers hold their roles in the meetings to make the meetings efficient and effective. So we could get those objectives for every committee that we have completed. It really helps us and allows us to have a time to critically think about the objectives that we want to accomplish and make sure that we are improving on the events that we are organizing. So the weekly meetings are structured very well and have improved over the years significantly. They've gone from 3-hour long meetings to an hour to an hour and a half, depending on the topics that we need to cover. And within that hour and a half, we have to effectively and efficiently get the points across that we want to get across. Third one, the leadership retreats. So this one covers a little bit of a couple of areas. The main area that our leadership retreats hold is just to create a safe space for our brothers to express their emotions about Beta Gamma Nu and making sure that we are listening to them and their concerns. And also for our executive board, just to have an opportunity to spend physical time during a weekend of the leadership retreat to improve in areas of our executive board. This might look like is having a conversation with alumni, because alumni do come to these leadership retreats, and having a conversation on how we could actually improve our objectives within the executive board. So the retreats are always fun, and they always provide an opportunity to uphold our standards as a whole for Beta Gamma Nu within a safe space for brothers. The last one, financial solvency. This is an important one for this previous year. The reason being is because we have made the step to become incorporated. So Beta Gamma Nu Incorporated is our official title. With this being said, is that we have insurance payments to get to, just to hold any type of risk accountable for Beta Gamma Nu. So we are protected in any way that we can. So what this means is that the insurance itself has increased the price for our members. So our members have a higher dues than before. But this was actually, this was actually agreed upon as a whole, and we were all okay with actually committing the extra fees, just so we could protect Beta Gamma Nu and the brotherhood that we have. And those 4 points are very important for our chapter management, just because it's helped us recognize areas of improvement.
Hey y'all, Richie again. This section is dedicated to the external relations nomination for Beta Gamma Nu Incorporated. So we wanted to start off with 4 main topics. Those 4 main topics involve FSL organizations. The second one is going to be our philanthropy, Fall Ball, the yearly conference that we hold for high school students, which is the Youth Leadership Conference, and the fourth one is going to be our volunteering experience. So starting off with the first one, we are, taking initiative and stepping outside of our comfort zone to socialize with other fraternities and sororities within the FSL community who we usually don't actually socialize. So this previous semester, we were fortunate enough to be invited by Sigma Pi and Kappa Delta to their bowling event at Chipper Jones. 8 active members attended that event, and we had a great time with both Sigma Pi and Kappa Delta. We actually, stayed there for most of the time. We showed up early and decided to socialize, and it was a good time. Just bowling, getting to know most of the members of Kappa Delta and a few members of the Sigma Pi. So we were fortunate enough to attend their event, and it really showed us the capability that, what the not the capability, but the impact that it has to actually step outside of your comfort zone. Since we are definitely more comfortable being around MGC, but we're definitely trying to break that stereotype, and more than anything is trying to get to know more people around our social circles, which was an awesome experience with Sigma Pi and Kappa Delta. So the second point that I want to mention is fall ball. So every year, this is a yearly philanthropy event that we try to improve on. It's one of the biggest events that we have offered to the community and to CSU. And we do hope that some of those social circles that we were establishing with, other fraternities and sororities do enrich the fall ball experience. Such as like this previous year, we actually were fortunate enough to invite the Alliance for Suicide Awareness, the Alliance for Suicide Prevention of Latimer County, because they do have the same message, which is suicide awareness, that we do. And we were fortunate enough to have them come to our event, create a conversation, not only with our active brothers, but also with the attendees of the events. And it was an awesome opportunity to start that conversation, that uncomfortable conversation with, individuals who understand and are working towards, suicide prevention. So we are definitely looking forward to bringing them back in the future, so we could, improve on those conversations and figure out ways on how to engage our attendees within this difficult conversation. And then our third point. So our third point is the youth leadership conference. So the YLC, dedicated for high school students. When I first became a member, I participated in the committee that we have for this event, and our first year we were focused on one specific high school, and we had a retention rate of 30 high school students, and this ranged from sophomores to seniors, getting ready to move on to higher education. So unfortunately, this previous year, or for the YLC for this year, we couldn't get to it. The pandemic did impede us from actually continuing with the committee and actually doing something for the high school students, but we were initiating the conversation and the focus to local high schools within Fort Collins, Colorado, and we do have the intentions to continue that that conference once we get back to normal. And next year we just have more time to actually plan for it and offer the local high schools within Fort Collins to more opportunities. And I could only speak on like last year's event, and it was awesome, just to be able to bring the students come to CSU, experience CSU, understand what it really looks like as a college student, whether you be a transfer student or first year student. It gets the conversation started, even about simple terms like what is alumni, or what does that even mean. So it's awesome to see active brothers come in and help out the committee who is dedicated into outreach for these students, his high school students, whether that be from transportation to food to like reservations from the rooms. We just try to make this event as helpful as possible for these high school students. And my last point for external relations is volunteering. Volunteering is probably one of the biggest focuses that we have at Beta Gamma Nu, at Colorado State. So for our chapter, we always have a high attendance rate from active brothers within our small circle that we have. What we take pride on is the type of relationships we're creating more than anything with these organizations. So the top two organizations that we've collaborated with, one is the Wildlands Restoration, and then the second one is Hearts and Horses. So I'll talk first about Wildlands Restoration. We had around 30 active brothers attend the Wildlands Restoration, and this was like a full 8-hour day of work, and it was awesome because we drove down to Lyons, Colorado, and we actually just parked on the side of the road and walked to the destination where the Wildlands Restoration organization was at, working on a riverbed. So we just picked up the shovels and got to work, and it was an awesome experience to be able to understand how Wildlands Restoration is not only like healing the damaged areas of that we actually love to spend our free time in, but also we also like created some relationships with them, and we actually we're talking about coming back in the spring, but again the pandemic kind of impeded us from doing that. But we did leave a seed planted there at Wildlands Restoration, and they enjoyed having all of us in those large numbers, and we definitely are looking forward to helping them out in the future again. And the second organization that I really want to mention was the Hearts and Horses. I personally didn't attend this because I was studying abroad at the time, but the active brothers who did attend, about 20 brothers ended up attending this event, just to help set up for one of their main events at Hearts and Horses. They got the whole room set up for a meeting for them, and it was an awesome, just short, half day, like a 4-hour work day for our active brothers who did attend that. And the real an awesome, portion or awesome aspect of the Hearts and Horses organization was that they're focused on using their horses for therapeutic, for therapeutic practices. And their focus is on people with some disabilities. So we were fortunate enough to be able to help them out, get their event going and getting people the therapy that they needed and get some cool conversations going with them. So volunteering has been definitely a very impactful experience for myself as a member and our active members as well, just to be able to create just memories more than anything, and then on top of that, just creating awesome relationships with organizations who have similar purposes to give back to the community, to be able to grow from these experiences and be able to enrich our own lives by knowing that we did take the effort and time to step outside of our comfort zone to assist these organizations. And with that, those are my 4 points that I really wanted to touch up on for the external relations portion for Beta Gamma Nu. And we really thank you for your time for looking at this video and your consideration for our external relations, and hope everything is well with y'all and that your families are safe, and we look forward to hearing back from you. Thanks.